EGMONT Key is a breathtakingly beautiful spot when viewed from any angle. It's a protected island, part Florida State Park, and part National Wildlife Sanctuary. EGMONT Key is located about 5 miles west of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge and rests between the barrier islands of the Pinellas Beaches and Manatee County. But EGMONT is not considered a barrier island itself. Geologists determine it is a delta island created by millions of years of sediment deposited by the currents of Tampa Bay. Part of EGMONT Key's charm is that it's only accessible by boat.
Welcome to Spring Break 2016. You guys picked a great time to come to Florida.
When the weather's nice, hundreds of tourists can invade EGMONT Key each day, venturing out aboard a ferry like this one from Fort DeSoto and operated by Hubbard's Marina, which has been bringing day trippers here since 2007. Pleasure boats are also welcome. I was able to hitch a ride on Eagle 8. Pilot Chase Ritter was able to set the chopper down on the remains of a helipad. In an emergency, the Coast Guard and medical helicopters also land here. EGMONT is home to one of the largest populations of gopher tortoises and as many as 40,000 nesting seabirds. For the past 100 years, harbor pilots have been bunking on the island before meeting up their ships coming and going from the port.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
But Park Ranger Tom Watson is the only permanent human inhabitant. EGMONT Key has been his address for more than 20 years, and he knows just about everything there is to know about his paradise home.
Many people don't realize, first of all, EGMONT Key is here. Secondly, the vast amount of history here.
Yes, it goes back. I mean, what we have records of and know about was when it was an internment camp for the Seminole Indians at one time before they were shipped to Oklahoma or the Marcheteers. And then there was Civil War activity here where there were Southern troops stationed here until the Union troops came down and they were just too much for them. So they abandoned the island, but they took the prism for the light tower with them when that's how important that light has been over history. And they buried it in Tampa somewhere, and it was hidden for the entire Civil War, and then it came back.
Spanish explorers Panfilo de Narvaez and Hernando de Soto first spotted this little island in the early 1500s. When the English acquired the key in the mid-1700s, they named it for John Percival, the second Earl of Egmont. EGMONT Key finally ended up in the hands of the U.S. in 1827, and 20 years later, a navigational lighthouse was built, which today is operated by the Coast Guard. Old brick roads that seemed to lead to nowhere were built to connect stores, houses, and Gulfside gun batteries for Fort Dade, the defense post during the Spanish-American War.
Then you had the Spanish-American War fear, where this island was really fortified in 1898 because of the fear of the tremendous Spanish Armada, and they were going to, the eastern coastal defenses was built up.
A small cemetery near the lighthouse is the final resting place for keepers and their families, as well as victims of yellow fever who had come to EGMONT to escape the disease in the late 1800s. One of 2 watchtowers set up during World War II to scan the Gulf for German U-boats is sinking under the Gulf. And that is why, despite being cherished for its history and beauty, EGMONT is becoming known now for its vulnerability to erosion. Since scientists began tracking in 1877, EGMONT Key has fallen to the elements, shrinking to almost half its original size. Hurricanes and storms such as the Great Gale of 1848 have taken their toll as the elements continue to chip away at EGMONT Key.
And naturally, not just from hurricanes, but just from the natural flow of water, this island is changing all the time.
Yeah, there's unfortunately an erosion situation here, which we deal with. We've seen it shift around a little bit. We've seen some of it go away, but we're dealing with it, and we just hope that we have great friends with the Army Corps of Engineers who have helped maintain this island when they can, when they do channel maintenance, and there's sand around. Sand is extremely important. everybody wants it. And about the Pinellas Beaches, they want sand too, so it's a tough thing.
Steve Jervy, News Channel 8.